What do you want, if anything, out of Cano now? Is there anything he needs to do? I don't know what it would be. And do you have a particular spot where you'd like to bat him? The order has become a great debate.
Right.
I think it's become a great debate because everyone thinks Jeter has to bat first, A-Rod has to bat fourth, and if anything else changes, it's big news. So you have those two, and again, it comes down to who they are, their status and everything. But really, the order should now revolve around Cano. Where do you want Cano to hit?
Yeah, I think it's important that we do that. We moved him up to
Cano
third.
In one place?
Yeah. Well, you could hit him one place against left-handers, one place against right-handers.
Okay.
You could do that. I don't have a problem doing that because the lineup is still consistent. It just changes whether you're facing a left-hander or a right-hander.
And he hits lefties so well.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. But, I mean, you look at the numbers that Mark Teixeira has put up against left-handers in the last couple of years, the numbers that Swisher has.
But they both hit right.
They
hit very well.
Yeah, so our lineup might be a little bit different.
But if your preference, you prefer Cano in the 3? If you
That's something that I'm really going to look at just because of what he's involved in.
Will Jeter start in the 1 next year?
That's something we have to look at as well. I mean, he did a great job for us, when he came back from his DL stint. And, I mean, it's hard to argue with what he did.
And how about Grandy? Do you like him in the 2-hole, Grandy?
Yeah, Grandy's a guy that I think you could hit a lot of different places, too.
He could hit 5. He could hit 6. He's got enough power. He could hit anywhere.
That's the thing is, I think we have guys that you could hit in different positions.
I agree. Yeah.
And we just got to figure out what's best for our club.
But Grandy hit very well in the 2-hole.
Yes, he did.
The Yankees, when Mattingly had his biggest year, he batted 2 behind Ricky Henderson. So, I mean, we have seen guys do that before.
I love to hit second, too. I don't know what it is. There's just something that makes you feel good when you're
hitting second. You like hitting second?
I loved it.
Really?
I used to almost cry when they took me out of it.
But you think of this, the different kinds of 2-hitters. There's a 2-hitter who has power, and the 2-hitter is there to handle the bat kind of thing.
Yeah, I was the handle the bat kind of thing.
Right.
But, I mean, it just... When you have speed in front of you, it just seems there's more pressure on the defense. There's more pressure on the pitcher, and you can do a lot of things.
Forgotten in this thing is Noesi. I know you and Cash are both very high on Noesi, right?
Yeah, I'm very pleased with what he came up and did. I mean, you think about a kid that had only started in the minor leagues, never pitched out of the bullpen, and he did a really good job for us. And he's starting in winter ball a little bit to get his innings up a little bit. But I think this kid has a bright future as well.
You do?
Yes.
Mariano, he has hinted this may be his last year. What do you? And now he has shown no. I mean, he has basically told Father Time to get lost more than any player I can think of. I mean, he has not shown any deterioration. Does this go on forever, or do you think there's a chance he might actually call it quits after this year?
I wish it would go on forever, but unfortunately we know that's not going to happen. This went on for a long time.
But he's the one guy I'm not so sure. It might go on forever.
Will this be his last year? I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of fall off. I haven't.
There's none.
I mean, he had an incredible year again, and I don't see any reason why he wouldn't have a great year next year. And if he has a great year, then that's a decision he has to make.
Well, do you think Robinson is your guy? Can you see Robinson being a closer in the future?
I think he has the stuff to do it. I do. I think he has the mentality to do it. The only way you really find out is if you do it.
Granderson is kind of the quiet, even with all those numbers this year, and the numbers are staggering, I don't want to say he's taken for granted because I don't think he's taken for granted, but he's kind of just quiet and goes about his business. For a guy to play Yankee center field Yankee Stadium is, hey, that's about as how the ground as there is, and to put up staggering numbers, things are kind of quiet for Mr. Granderson. I mean, does he just quiet? Describe Granderson, if you can, as a person.
He is a great human being. He's very humble. He's very quiet. Loves to play. And one of the reasons maybe his season got lost a little bit this year was the pursuit of 3,000.
Right.
And Mo breaking the all-time saves record. So there was always something going on at Yankee Stadium.
And there's a lot of star power there. There's A-Rod, there's Cano. There's a lot of stars.
But I think you could argue that he's the MVP of the American League this year.
No, it's definitely in the argument. There's no question.
I mean, you look at the runs he scored, the position that he plays, the RBIs that he had. I mean, you could argue that he's the MVP.
And, he came over from Detroit, and that last month in Detroit before he left, he was terrible in center field. I don't know if it was his eyes or what the deal was, but he has played a very good center field, too.
Yeah, he has, and we've been very pleased with what he's done.
You've upgraded your outfield defense a lot in the last couple of years. Gardner's played great, like a Gold Glover, and Granderson's played well. And I think even Swisher's improved his defense a little bit in the outfield.